Finally getting things rolling this morning. Hopefully it stays up there like it's supposed to. Sorry you wasn't at church yesterday. We missed you. We had a good time. We did have some problems broadcasting. We're still trying to figure out how to get the best possible speed we can there at the church. We're working on it. I'm sorry it didn't work real well yesterday. But you know, R.E. Clark writes something about the church that I think is really important. It's entitled Museum or Hardware. The church is not a building with a sign above the doorway declaring it to be so. The church is not an organization. It is an organism. It is a living, ever-growing assembly of those who have trusted Christ as the Lord and Savior. The church has always been in the mind of God since before eternity began and was founded by Christ himself. You'll find that over in Matthew 16:18. It must be asked in this early part of the 21st century if the church is still fulfilling all that God intended for her, especially in the light of the fact that church can be so loosely defined. God's definition is much more narrow. For we are God's fellow workers. You are God's field. You are God's building, according to 1 Corinthians 3:9. It is very clear that you and I, as believers, are the church. To what then shall I compare us as the church? Maybe I will make a distinction between a museum and a hardware store. If the church is to be likened into a museum, then it becomes a place where the relics are kept safe. The items, in this case, us, who constitute the church, are never intended to be used or for fear they would disintegrate to dust. We are just icons of a time long past. But the hardware store is a place where tools are purchased and put to use, each serving its individual purpose. This is much more of a picture of the church and God's intent for the people who compose it. God has fully equipped the church to be at work outside of the hardware store shelves. Ask God how he can use you in his kingdom. Don't worry, his answer will always be according to your design. Are we a hardware store or are we a museum? That's a good question today. I hope that you can find your tools that you need to do the kingdom's work. God bless you. Have a great day.
Yeah, about that.